Okay, down in the basement here to show you this solar system that you can build. Please try this. You'll enjoy it. It gives you peace of mind, especially with these winters coming and floods and power grid. I ran my big refrigerator for 7 days, almost 8. With this, I have 2 Battleborn batteries down there for 2 12-volters hooked in series. And of course the sun quit coming out, so that hurt. But anyway, I'm going to go over this real quick because I'm going to leave a link to Will Prowse DIY solar, and he's going to explain this. The video is very similar to what you're seeing in front of you here. He made a few changes. I think he used the MPPT Controller instead of my MT50 up here, which very handy. Wish I could get a close-up of that. Probably not, too dark. But that shows voltage coming in, voltage in the batteries, etc., etc. And you can program that. It's not hard. Will shows you how to do that. That Will Prowse from DIY Solar. He is the man. He's a genius. Started out, took an interest in it. So anyway, back to this deal. This is a 40 amp MPPT controller. This is what Will had recommended for a powerful system. Not going to run a whole house. This is, be a heater. Anything that makes heat draws a lot of power. Heater for a while, but that fridge, it lasted a long time. And so, you get what you get. I mean, if you go on YouTube and start looking up these solar, you're going to go on forever and ever and ever. This is just to get you started and to let you know that this is easy and you can do it. And I hope you'll take a shot at it. You buy the parts. I got a piece of white OSB painted white here, plywood. I laid it out, any way you want. And these wires here hanging down there. That's a camera. I have a camera up here that looks at that MT controller over there. Forget that blue box, by the way. That's a transfer switch. It didn't work out good for me, but it's still up there. All those wires are not hooked up to anything, so don't let that scare you. That camera is Bluetooth, sends the picture of that meter to my phone. It was the easiest way I could figure to do that and keep an eye on things when I want to. Victron, which is another very good company, they make a Bluetooth meter that you can put, upstairs next to your chair or whatever, and you can keep an eye on things that way. Which you really don't have to keep an eye on things, but I like to. I like to know what's going on, because you can have a problem from time to time, I suppose. That's what I like about this system. It's easy to troubleshoot. There are modular systems. I'm not talking about those walk-around solar stations that you carry. I actually do have one of those. I had to get one. But modular systems, they're newer. Will tell you about them, how he feels about them. But everything's built inside a box, you might say. And they're probably heavy too. I had to get further away from this camera. So, back to this. This is the inverter. I got a 3,000, 6,000 watt by G&L. And Ames makes the best one, but I couldn't afford that. That was like $500. I wasn't going to do that. And moving along, got a couple circuit breakers in here. This is a 50 amp, I believe. Yeah, 50. Goes over to my bus bar. These are my hot wires. And there's here is a 200 amp, which goes over to my inverter. They want them in there, so I put them in there. Lay them down on the plywood and figured out where you want them. This little meter here, I don't know what it doesn't do anything for me. This is a shunt, battery shunt. I don't know what they're for, but I guess you're supposed to use them. So I put it in there. They're very cheap, easy to hook up. What else? The silver box back here, that is could be called a converter. I call them step-down transformer. Transfers my voltage from the system, which this is a 24 volt system, which I bought a 24 volt inverter, I believe. This picks up 12 or 24 automatically. You don't have to mess with it at all. But I believe I bought the 24 volt inverter. I don't see where it says, but yeah, input 24 volt. So if you want to go 24 volt, do it. It's not any more complicated than anything else. It's just more efficient and more powerful, according to Will. He's got videos up there. You can type in 24 volt versus 12 volt. He'll explain that all to you. And back to that little transformer that converts from 24 volt down to 12 volt. And then over here is a 12 volt fuses. So you can pick up anything 12 volt. If you got an RV, mostly 12 volt, and you just run wires out of there. And they're car fuses is all they are. And right now I'm running this light up here. Probably can't see it, blind you. Little cheapy light. And my camera actually is 110. It's not 24 volt. So I don't know what else to say about this. There's so much on YouTube that you can figure it out. There's not much to figure out. Just a matter of, see if I can zoom out a little bit. It's just a matter of getting the parts. I think most of this came from Amazon. And the link I'm going to give you from Will Prowse for this system, it's called 24 volt, 400 watt. Actually, it'll do over 1,000 watts. I have 8 100 watt panels on the roof. So, works fine. But they are run in 2 series of 4 into parallel. I don't want to confuse you, but when you run in parallel, it drops the voltage down and the amperage goes up. So that's what I did. Recommended me from some old guy who lived out in the Caribbean on an island. And what else we got over here? That's about it. I just want to try and convince you to build one of these. There's so many options. YouTube is just loaded with solar. And you can pick out what you want. This is what I picked. It was small, but powerful. And those Battle-Born batteries, they're the best. They're expensive. We're talking, Will, I think, said 900. I think they're like 800 or 700 something to get them from Battle-Born. But there's cheaper batteries out there. Those are lithium. But there's cheaper ones out there. There's also, all this stuff has changed. Now this is still a good, Inverter makes those. Inverter controller. Make new models and whatever. So I guess that's it. Basically, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is CJ, and I'm new at YouTube. This is like my second video, so I'm not very good at it, but I'm learning. And but this should be enough to convince you to try and do this. You'll be so happy knowing that you have a little power in reserve for anything. The world is going to, a handbasket. And scary. once again, I always mention, you know, get your stuff in order, take care of your soul. I'm a believer, you should be too. If you don't like that, well, you'll end up going nowhere. But do that, get your soul in order so you're ready in case you don't make it, and get some food and water. You're going to need it. This winter in Ohio is supposed to kill maybe millions, or not millions, millions nationwide, around the world, I don't know. Nobody knows, but I think something is going to happen bad this winter in Ohio, because we're between I mentioned this, between Cleveland and Toledo, like a mile or two from Lake Erie, and so we'll see what happens. As you can see, I'm not real neat. Got the tools over here. What a mess. What a mess. I used to be pretty cleanly about everything, neat freak. Here's a picture I got. That's what got me started. This picture right here, that's from Will Prouse's page. I printed it off and thought, wow, that looks kind of easy. And so as you can see, that's pretty much what I built. I rearranged the pieces here and there like a puzzle, which was fun. And so I'm going back upstairs. I can't think of anything else to say. Please subscribe. I mentioned that. Give me a thumbs up if you can. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 so I can do live videos. And there's some other perks with that, I think. I don't know. I'll figure it out. My voice, I had COVID a couple months ago, lasted quite a while. I've had some health issues. You know, I got cancer now for 5 years, but they treat it, and still alive. And had a liver transplant 8 years ago. No problem with that. So lungs kind of shot. I was a musician all my life, and smoky bar room, smoking. Wish I never would have done that. I don't do anything now. Chew a little tobacco once in a while. That's an even nasty habit. I've got to quit that. So you're probably bored of looking at that picture. Probably bored of listening to me too. So I'm going to turn this off and go upstairs and maybe get busy uploading. Just please do this. Find one you want to build. This is a great starter right here. I mean, it's not a whole house solar system. It's just some pretty good backup for things, depending on the sun. If you live in the sun, that's great. In Ohio, we can get blacked out for a while, but maybe God will be with us and let the sun shine. All right, heading upstairs.